Howdy, folks. My name is Alex, otherwise known as Fear the Z, and welcome to episode 37 of the Traders Digest. We'll start off with our disclaimer. I'm not a financial or a tax advisor. This is not financial or tax advice. This is for entertainment purposes only, but please enjoy. As always, the show notes will contain links to things I'm talking about, a link to my Patreon, patreon.com/TurnerDigest. I somehow always mess that up. I do have some people DMing me over there, and I try to reply to all of them. I do have some people asking me what play I'm using for some cashback transactions that I'm making, and I'm not making that public. The person that turned me onto it specifically requested it to not be public, and they know I have a podcast, so I'm not going to go behind their back and disclose what it is, but I have talked about them on the podcast before, so it's in there somewhere. But if you do want to support me on Patreon, it starts as little as $1, goes all the way up to the Cleed tier. And as always, shout out to Cleed and Kung Fuhrer for being members of the Cleed tier. Speaking of the Patreon, we had 3 new members. So welcome Michael, Adam, and Packers fan. Thank you very much for your support. Also in the show notes, there's a link to the referral page, which has a bunch of my referrals. If there's anything that you want to use and it's not on there, just reach out to me and I'll be happy to send it. I probably have a referral link for it. If you like the intro music, that was my brother's band, Sweaty Lemon. Info about them in the show notes. Apparently, they have an album coming out this month. We'll see. All right, we will dive into it. First thing I have here is from Doctor of Credit that there is a targeted Chase checking and credit card holder bonus. Specifically, if you're targeted, you have to make 3 payments and get a $80 bonus. So it looks like some Chase checking and credit card holders are being offered $80 or 8,000 point bonus when registering and then using their Chase checking account to make 3 purchases to their Chase credit cards. Some people got $50 or 50,000 or 5,000 points. Some people need to make 6 payments. I didn't receive any of this, so I can't speak on it too much. But if you did get it, it seems like a pretty free way to make some money. Next, we have a increased sign-up bonus, or your mileage may vary sign-up bonus for the American Express Gold sign-up. American Express Gold. This is specifically 90,000 points and up to $50 at restaurants. So it looks like sign up for the American Express Gold card and get a special welcome offer of 90,000 member points. Also receive 20% back in statement credits on restaurant purchases worldwide up to $50. So that 20% really isn't worth too much. Nothing else is unique about this offer, just that it comes with an extra $50. I think 90K is one of the higher offers for American Express Gold, but I apparently learned that when applying for American Express cards, I think the Gold and the Platinum are in the same tier. So if you get a sign-up bonus for the Platinum, you can't get it for the Gold, and vice versa. Or if you get it for just the Platinum, you can't get it for the Gold. But if you get it for the Gold, you can still get it for the Platinum. I think that's how that works. I don't care too much because I'm already dizzy with all of the American Express coupons that I have to deal with, so I won't be going for this, but I figured I would share. I do have links to referrals for American Express Platinum, and then that also goes down to Gold. You can change the product, so if you're interested, definitely reach out. Next, we have a couple updates to U.S. Bank. So U.S. Bank has updated the churning verbiage specifically for their Altitude Reserve card. So previously it used to state that you could not receive a bonus if you've ever received a bonus in the past, but now it's just the past 5 years. So now these will be churnable, which is nice. It's one of the better churnable credit cards out there. I know that there's some lifetime languages on some cards, but now it's nice to know that this is one that doesn't have lifetime language. And the other U.S. Bank update was also in the Altitude Reserve, specifically back on episode number not found, because apparently I haven't talked about this before, but I guess I just read about it and I never shared about it, maybe because I don't have the card. But previously, at the start of April, it seems like there were some reports that U.S. Bank Altitude Reserve card, which earned 3x on mobile wallets, was not earning 3x on mobile wallets. People reached out to U.S. Bank and they said they're working on a fix, and they've officially issued a notice saying, hey, we did have an issue. We are retroactively crediting your account. If there were any errors, you shouldn't have to take any action. If you want this error to immediately stop, you can just remove your card from your digital wallet and re-add it. That should fix it. or you can just leave it and it'll eventually be fixed. I don't see why you wouldn't just remove it and get it fixed, but it's nice that they reached out to let people know. They ended the email by saying, "We apologize for any inconvenience and truly value your business." So it's nice of them to at least fix it. I mean, legally, those are, I don't know about legally, but the terms you signed up for state that you earned 3x on those purchases, so you should be getting them. Next, there was something called Delta Getaways, daily getaway deals for 2024. This didn't seem like anything interesting. Like, you could buy, it looks like you can buy Hilton points for half a cent, IHD points for half a cent, some deals in MGM, some Universal deals, some United Park and Resort deals. Nothing really interesting. It seems like this used to be a thing that was good, like maybe a decade ago, but now it's kind of just lackluster. Next, a bit of a tangent, but I received an email from listener Know-It-All. And it was just a pretty unassuming email. Just said, "Thought you might enjoy this U.S. card form thread." And I clicked on it. And I started reading through, and I mean, everything I think is in Chinese. I think it's Chinese. But it's just a huge thread on this blog of a bunch of credit card images. And I'm like, what a niche topic that I'm also enjoy. I'm slowly scrolling through, and I'm like, hey, I recognize some of these card images. Like, these are some of the first ones that I added to my collection. I'm scrolling through, and I'm reading the original poster that sent it originally. His name was Chow. And that like rang a bell to me. And I'm looking at the script that Chow linked to get your cards from specifically a MacBook Pro with Touch ID. They call it out in English because it doesn't look like there's a translation. And this is ticking a bunch of bells for me, because there was also a post on Reddit from a couple of years ago, turns out to be by user ChowXU, who shared about getting Apple Card images from MacBooks. And I don't know for a fact, but I'm jumping into conclusions a little bit. I don't see how this couldn't be the same person, but I believe this is the same person. So a random listener of mine, Know-It-All, sent me a U.S. card forum thread on card images. And it turns out that the person that posted that, the user that made that original card image post, also was the user that posted on Reddit 2 years ago about getting high-quality images from a MacBook with Touch ID. And if we go to this post from 2 years ago, I'm in the comments. I ask if they have a working script for Z Shell, and they gave me some information on how to do it and gave me a place to upload some images, and I shared some images. I shared, it looks like, a whole bunch. My original start of my collection, which included Bank of America debit card, Bank of America MLB card, which is now just customized cash, a Cash App debit card, a Columbia Bank First Bank card, H.M. Bradley debit, H.M. Bradley credit card, both RIP, Robinhood debit card, Sunflower Bank, so I was going for a sign-up bonus at the time for that, Banana Republic, and Synchrony Verizon Visa. So Chow was the start of my collection. I slowly over DMs messaged him over and over again with different links to add to his collection, and he has a growing collection. And I had this link saved in like my browser tabs for the longest time, and I actually misplaced it. And thanks to Know-It-All, I now have the link again. It's a Dynalist. I don't really know what Dynalist is. The only place I've ever seen this, but it's just like a big list that you can organize in tabs. And there's a bunch of high-quality images of credit cards here. This was my original inspiration for doing this. There's some cards on here that I don't have in my collection, like this American Express Plum card, this American Express Centurion card, also a bunch of cards I submitted. So I submitted a Barclays Uber card, Chase. I think this Chase Star Wars card is mine. Also the naming, like the way that Chow named the cards, all lowercase, just the name of the card, and the issuer in front is also how I name it. So my whole card images is very much modeled after how Chow does it. So huge shout out to Chow. I tried emailing him. I tried sending him a Reddit message because I used to have a correspondence with him a long time ago. I think the last time I sent him something was, I don't even remember, years ago at this point. And the most recent one that I sent him, he didn't reply to, like a couple of years back, asking to update to his list, and that's what inspired me to make my own list. And I sent another email, but it seems like, or sent another Reddit message. It seems like he doesn't monitor that anymore. But thank you for Know It All for bringing me down memory lane. And thanks, Chow, for the inspiration for making the card image rip site. I have to go through Chow's list and start taking some of those images there and trying to at least give a backup on my site to have one definite source to host these images. Also, Chow in that thread or in the Reddit post said that the highest quality image that he has currently is the American Express Blue Business Plus, which has been far exceeded now because the newest highest image is the Venmo credit card, which weighs in at 3 megabytes, which is quite big for just this image. But I don't know if you thought that was interesting, but I thought it was super interesting that I just so happened to randomly be linked by Know It All to this thread from 2021 that was the inspiration for me to start my credit card collection, image collection, as well as really, I mean, that's what got me into personal finance in the first place, and in turn, this podcast. So I owe a lot to Chow. So enough of that trip down memory lane. We'll go back into actual podcast news. So for those unaware of what First Tech Federal Credit Union is, I think I called it out in a couple episodes ago. First Tech. Yep, they had a $300 sign-up bonus going on back in episode 20 or episode 32. I believe it's pretty location restricted, and I don't know if it's available anymore. But they sent a letter out as well as an email stating that they're updating their privacy notice. And I think, I don't have their old privacy notice, but they did have the verbiage or something along the lines of, we like to be very forthright with our privacy to our customers and want to give you advance notice that the following will be in effect starting, I think, April 1st, but you can call to opt out within 30 days. And essentially, I believe all of these things that are being shared is what's always shared. They share like the type of personal information we collect and share depends on the products or services that you have with us. This information can include social security number and account transactions, payment history and account balances, credit history, and checking account information. So you can opt out and still be a member. Please note, if you're a new member, we can begin sharing your information within 30 days from the date we sent this notice. When you're no longer a member, we continue to sharing your information. Describe notice. However, you contact us anytime to limit our sharing. So you can still remain a member, but you can opt out if you'd like. I haven't done it yet. I might. I keep forgetting about it, and honestly, I don't care enough. It's so like far gone. I have so many bank accounts at this point that my social security number is probably in everyone's email or something. But I figured I'd share this. If you do have an account and want to opt out, you can. Next, also with First Tech, they, along with this change to their privacy notice, updated that they have a new $5 monthly inactivity fee. And that's issued when you've been active for 6 months or more. And to avoid these fees, you can do any of the following. You have initiated a transactional activity in the past 6 months in the account. You currently have any open product with us other than a checking or savings. Your relationship deposit balance exceeds $500, or you're currently a minor under 18 years of age. Nothing out of the ordinary here. It's pretty boilerplate for activity fees. I plan on closing the account pretty soon after I get the bonus anyway, so no big deal. And I think this one requires me to have a bunch of direct deposits going in. Let me see. First Tech. Yeah, 3 months of $1,000 or more direct deposit for $300. Still working on that one, so I'm not too worried for now. Moving on, there was another. Actually, I think this is the same one I talked about before. That there was a Chase targeted bonus to pay for 3 consecutive months of auto pay. It looks like very similar to the one Dr. Credit posted, so I'll actually move that in the show notes to be with the other Chase bonus. All right, that's updated. Next, there was a user by the name of LOSVEDIR. Losvedir, maybe. They made a big list of the post is specifically cards with benefits if you park a bunch of money at their banks. And the obvious one for me was Bank of America with their preferred rewards, which I've talked about a bunch. But there's also Charles Schwab with the Charles Schwab Appreciation Bonus, where they offer Standard American Express Platinum Card with $100 or $200 or $1,000 annual statement credit for $250K, $1 million, or $10 million of assets held with them. And you can also redeem membership rewards at one separate point into a Schwab account. Fidelity Rewards Plus will give you a boost to your credit card rewards depending on what balance you hold with them. Truist also seems to have a bonus. To be eligible for this card, you must have at least 1 million assets with them. It's a Visa with effectively unlimited 5.25% cash back on flights, hotels, car rentals, and dining, 3.5% back on gas and groceries, and 1.75% on everything else if redeemed into a Truist account. There's a $450 annual fee, which is waived if you are a wealth client, which is different from their self-directed assets with them. That's very interesting. I mean, that's a lot of money. Who the hell's got $1 million and is really worried about an extra 5% on their cash back? I mean, hopefully me one day. Shit. JP Morgan and Citi have Private Bank and Citi Gold respectively. If you have enough assets with them, you get some kind of benefits, but doesn't seem like there's anything with credit cards. Looks like Morgan Stanley, American Express. If you have a Platinum Cash Plus account with them, you get an annual taxable $695 bonus, one free authorized user, and a redemption of one separate point. There was a episode by The Daily Churn that went over this. I'll see if I can find that episode. Yep, looking back, it's episode 38 from the Churners, from The Daily Churn. If you're interested, you can go listen to that. More on the Morgan Stanley Amex. Logic's relationship rewards. Their Visa is bumped to 1.5%, 2%, or 3% at 20, 50, 100K with them. Balance of their checking and savings account count, as does debt like their car loan or home mortgage. Alliant Federal Credit Union has a tiered rewards. Tier 1 rewards has 2.5% cash back up to $10,000 per month if you have a balance of $1,000 with them. I've definitely talked about them before. UBS Visa Infinite has a $495 annual fee with a $500 credit if you spend $25,000 a year with them. And finally, Regions Rewards Multiplier adds an additional 0.25, 0.5, or 1% onto their Prestige card if you have 15,000, 30,000, or 50,000 parked with them. Their base rates are 3% on dining and 2% on gas and groceries and 1% everything else. Some of these were new to me. I hadn't heard some of these before, and some of them are pretty standard to me. I still think the Bank of America statuses, their boosts, are probably the best. I am a bit sad that I'm now no longer in Merrill for my IRA. Now it's in Robinhood, but technically that gets me more money. But I don't know, for some reason getting 25, 50, 75% cash back boost to me seems better. And I guess that's what Bank of America is going for, but it doesn't really amount to that much in the end of the game. But still, it's a nice little addition. All right, next. For those who weren't aware, if you had a Built Rewards card, you had your card canceled. Psych, haha, just kidding. That's what Built did. They sent out an email saying that your account has been canceled, and this email was incorrectly sent out due to a bad email filter, apparently. Users that receive the email and error receive a $250 courtesy points. Some users panicked and transferred points out as they thought their accounts would be shut down. These people can send in a support ticket to have the transfer reversed. That was confirmed by Built. I mean, this is like Built is just getting plagued with a bunch of issues. They had their bins hacked, so their cards were targeted for a bunch of fraud. And now this, and I'm pretty sure they also sent another email out or something mistakenly. They don't have a great track record. I never personally opened the account. I believe I applied and was denied. And I am still renting, so I guess I'm missing out a little bit, but not the end of the world. And I do have to pay by check, which makes it even more painful, but because I don't have another way of paying except, what's the name of that service? Plastic? I think it's Plastic, but I never use them, and I don't really have an interest. There's high fees and whatever. It's not worth the effort. But that's built. If you had it, you probably got an email and were like, what the heck? And that's what it was. All right, next, just some general stuff. Just a little update on my American Express Platinum. I noticed I went in and was looking at my membership rewards, and it's interesting that none of them post, I guess, until the end of the statement. I think that's the same for other cards, at least certain cards, like my Bank of America one does that. I think my Chase card does that. They sit it pending, and then the statement closes, and then they're actually credited to your account. So I was curious to see if my 10x referral would show up in the rewards, and they weren't showing. So I went and looked at the referral terms, and they said your account will be credited within 8 to 12 weeks after you make a qualifying purchase. But I just went and looked today, and I'm starting to see some of those 10x come through. The in-membership rewards in your little table of where you see your rewards activity, which also isn't available in the app, which sucks. Why isn't it in the app? I have to go to the browser to view it. Like, just add it there. But in the web app or on the website, you can see your pending activity. And I just recently started seeing, like, it says there's like a certain code in the beginning, and then it says 10x refer or something. And there's a star that says it's from a bonus activity, and that's for any referrals. So I've had 3 referrals coming in. Apparently I have 4 total that are supposed to come. 3 of them are from, no, all 4 are from coworkers. One of them is just giving to me outright, and the other 3 want half of it back. So fine, I'll give them half of it. That's no problem. But yeah, I have some decent referrals coming in for that, especially in addition to all the 10x on restaurant for up to $25,000 in spend for 3 months. Definitely not going to max that out, but I'm going to definitely put all my restaurant spend on there. Also, the American Express Platinum Saks credit. I have a wedding coming up this weekend, and I figured I'd give the Saks credit a shot. I bought, I think, like a $70 bow tie, a 100% silk bow tie. With a $50 credit, comes out to like $20. Not the worst thing. It's annoying that ShopRunner was removed. I think at the beginning of this year. I think like literally last month, there's no longer ShopRunner for Saks, which is annoying because the card comes to ShopRunner. And I've had ShopRunner for a while too. I think through some MasterCard benefit, maybe. And in addition, on the American Express Platinum, I've been going towards the $240 annual credit for digital credits, which comes in the form of $20 credits per month. It could be used on things like Disney or Hulu or the Disney Bundle or ESPN Plus. I personally have the Disney Plus and Hulu ad-free or ad-supported bundle for like around $3. So I moved my charge to the Platinum card, as well as I like getting physical newspapers, and I've been getting the Boston Globe every Sunday, and it looks like the Wall Street Journal as well as the New York Times are supported by this digital credit. But I'm now realizing it's a digital credit, but I signed up for the Wall Street Journal home delivery. But I found a student discount, and I'm not a student, but I have like a verification still, and I'm still verified. It's $10 a month for a daily newspaper, like to be delivered to my house. $10 a month. That's like less than, I don't know, how much does it even work out to? 10 divided, I can't believe I'm doing this. 10 divided by 30. Yeah, 30 cents a day to get a whole newspaper? Yeah, why not? And get access to the Wall Street Journal. I think it also gives me access to their digital site. So not a bad deal. And supposedly it's going to be free with my digital credit from American Express, but I guess we'll see. And then there's Walmart Plus at $12.95. I won't really use it. I think I might give it to a relative, but I did already assign it to my Walmart account, so I don't know if I can like unlink it and give it to someone else. The Walmart Plus credit did post to my transactions already, but I haven't seen anything for the Wall Street Journal or Disney and Hulu just yet. And then also there's the Uber credits, which was supposed to be $15 a month, but I got $20 this month. I wonder if it's just your first sign-up month or something. And it's weird that it just gets added to your Uber Cash. So I already have Uber Cash, but I guess it just depletes from the Uber credits for the American Express Platinum first and then uses your Uber Cash. A bit odd and hard to track. And then also just an update on my minimum spend required for this 175,000 points offer. I have to spend $8,000 in 6 months. I don't even think I'm a month in, am I? Let me see. I am. I'm like a week and a half in, and I've already spent $7,000. So I don't think I'm gonna have a problem reaching this minimum. I intentionally had half paid some Airbnbs for a Europe trip that I have next week, actually. So that was probably like $1,200 of pending transactions, and I went through and paid that. I also paid for my next year of Mint Mobile because it was actually due this month, so happy timing. I also paid my mom's tax bill, which is around $3,000. So I spent about $50 in fees there, but I earned 1x, so it was really like 0.8%, so maybe like $20 or $30 in fees. Really not bad. And then I had to book a hotel for a wedding that I'm going to, as well as get some alterations for some suits that I own. So, and I had to get my motorcycle serviced. So all in all, it came out to $7,000 already. So I will not have a problem meeting this spend. And I'll just be able to put the rest on 10x restaurants and then not use the card ever again, except for these random credits. And then finally, I'm creating an American Express Platinum benefits tracker that I'm just going to update and put when things post and what credits I'm getting and what value I'm getting from the card. So I'll be sharing screenshots on the show notes, but I'll be putting the actual source document on the Patreon. Similar to other things, I'll be sharing them. If there's any updates, I'll say it on the podcast. But if you want to have access to the actual spreadsheet, just go over to join the Patreon. It's only $1. Next, back to some actual news. Let's see where I am in my tabs here. I am on this tab. All right. Someone at work shared this, and I thought it was a staggering number. Costco selling as much as $200 million in gold bars monthly, Wells Fargo estimates. Gold returned its money for Costco, where yellow metal sales begun last year have turned into cash flow for the big box retailer. In fact, sales are so brisk that the analysts at Wells Fargo expect revenue may now be running at $100 million to $200 million a month, a rapid acceleration since bullion hit the warehouses. Bullion, which apparently stands for gold or silver in bulk. Bullion hit the warehouse club late in the summer of 2023. You can't convince me that these aren't from just people manufacturing spend. I couldn't see who's buying $200 million a month from Costco in gold. That's kind of crazy. I mean, it's an easy way to meet manufactured spend if you lock up. Dr. Credit's posted about this a long time ago, maybe like a year or two. I guess not that long. But they've shared a play of locking in a local gold buyer at a particular price and then going and buying it from like Costco and then selling it to them for either break even or a little bit of a loss, and then take your sign-up bonus and your credit card rewards and be on your merry way. I know some places, some cards have started tracking those as like cash transactions and not giving rewards, but I don't think all of them are. Next, hat tip to Miles Earn and Burn. They sent in one of their emails about a new app that came up called Cardwrite. And if you're familiar with Max Rewards, it's very similar where, well, in a way, Max Rewards allow you to attach all of your cards that you have to the app in order to tell you like what rewards they have, how far along you are on the sign-up bonus tracker, stuff like that. Cardwrite puts it to the next level. It's more like churning based in a way. It's the kind of game credit card applications. So it knows a bunch of rules on different issuers like Bank of America, Capital One, American Express, Chase, Citi, Wells Fargo, and a whole bunch of others. And you put what date you opened your cards, and it'll tell you which bank you're eligible to open an account with, whether you're under 524, if you're under Bank of America's 234 rule, or one of the other rules that there are out there. I downloaded it and started playing around with it. It seemed pretty decent. They did send me a notification today for, I think there was like an elevated Citi American Airlines business offer, which I'm not going to link to, but if you're interested, it's on Dr. Credit. I just have 27 cards that I have open. I don't feel like manually adding those all to an app. I already have a tracker for it, and if I want to open something, I'll just go figure it out on my own. But if you're just starting in your journey or don't have a bunch you have to manually input, they seem to support most cards and seem pretty accurate. I know I can get pretty confused on the different rules in different banks, so this is a pretty good app that I saw. So hat tip to Miles Erneburn for sharing that. Next, I was looking into, from last episode, some ways to fund bank accounts with an American Express card. And First Commonwealth, I was just looking through a couple different banks that I have to open up some CDs. And First Commonwealth had a decent CD, and they allowed credit card funding up to $500. And it accepted an American Express card, but I later got a call the next day saying that they don't accept American Express. So I just decided not to open the CD. Also, I saw reports that University Credit Union was accepting American Express up to like $2,000, so I decided to wing it and give it a shot. You have to join, they have to donate like $5 to some hospital or something, so I did that, submitted the application, and then they asked me for a copy of my driver's license over email, unsecure email, so I sent that, didn't love that, and then they asked me for a copy of my passport, and I was like, can I verify my identity some other way? Like, here's a utility bill. They're like, no, we need to verify your name. So please send us your passport. And I was like, I don't really like sending this over unsecure emails. Is there another way I can do this? And they said, nope, this inbox is secure. Trust us. So I was like, all right, fine. I sent it over. And then it was a new passport. I hadn't signed it yet. And they were like, you haven't signed it. Can you please sign it and send it back? So I'm not even going to go for it. In the email, they were like, once you do that, you can fund the account via ACH transfer. And I was like, never mind. Not really interested. So I haven't found anything for American Express credit card funding. If you find something, let me know. I mean, I don't really need it anymore, but I can. Actually, maybe don't let me know because I'd probably share it on the podcast and it'll die pretty quickly. All right. Next, I saw that Dr. Credit reported. Actually, I don't even know if Dr. Credit reported it, but it was definitely reported by a user on Reddit by Derek OW. And the message was, for those involved in gift card reselling, there's apparently a federal investigation ongoing regarding Chinese organized crime involvement in gift card draining and tampering. So for those of you who are buying a bunch of gift cards, at least physical ones, be careful. It seems like this is becoming more rampant, and oftentimes the gift card issuer won't really care or won't give you much grounds to get the money back. So just keep that in mind. Next, I want to give an update on my Robinhood IRA transfer. I just want to say how quick and easy this was. I went into Robinhood. I gave them my account number for Merrill, and I just said I want to transfer all of my IRA over. I had to go through and ask Robinhood to update my name because my name was technically incorrect there because it should have been Alexander, not Alex. And I went through and did that. Super easy. Waited for the transfer to go through. It took like maybe 3 to 5 days. And then the account in Merrill showed as closed and was also charged a $49.95 fee. And then the account was closed out and the funds were transferred over to Robinhood. The only thing that's annoying is that I believe I lost all cost basis for all of those stocks. I'll have to go into Merrill and see if I can dig out the cost basis there because that's going to be a big pain. Also, I've reached out to Robinhood and they said I'm not eligible for annual gold membership instead of monthly. My monthly is $6.99, which kind of sucks, which works out to $84 a year. I know some people that are getting it for $50 a year, so I feel like I'm kind of getting the short end of the stick here. But I guess we'll see. They said that currently only some users are able to see the annual fee price and some aren't. So maybe it'll change in the future, but I'm not holding my breath. And I submitted a request per Robinhood's documentation saying if you received a fee from your external brokerage, you can get it refunded for up to $75 for transferring assets, as long as you transfer in, I think, at least $7,000. So I sent them a support ticket saying that I would like for my $49.95 from Merrill to be refunded. they got back to me in like 12 hours and they said, sure, I submitted that request for you. I didn't send any proof or anything. It was an account closure fee, not a transfer fee. And looking at, it seems like Robinhood either doesn't care or will reimburse both a transfer fee or a cancellation fee from your transferring in brokerage. And like I said, they didn't ask for proof. So I wonder if I just said it was $75, they would just give me $75. And something that I didn't realize was a huge pain within Merrill only allows you to buy round whole shares, while Robinhood allows you to buy things on like based on dollars, which makes these contributions that I make so much easier. If I contribute $7,000, I don't have to figure out my 5 ETF strategy, which one gets what amount of shares and which one has the carryover and where the extra funds are going to go. I can pick exact denominations and not have a problem and always target exactly what balance I want. So I'm very grateful that I'm now on Robinhood. Hopefully my account doesn't get shut down. I'm thus far pretty good. I did get a response from Robinhood from last episode, and I can't believe I almost forgot to share it. The update is as follows. Hi, Alexander. Thank you very much for the information provided. At this moment, no further action is required from your part. This is part of our routine review of Robinhood customer accounts. Rest assured, no restriction will be placed on your account. We appreciate your cooperation and would like this opportunity to thank you for being a valued Robinhood customer. Have a great day, and please let us know if you have any additional questions or concerns. We are here to help. Sincerely, Robinhood Support. So this is now 2 times that Robinhood has looked at my account of, as they quoted, $314,000 getting transferred in and out, and they have given me a green light. I mean, knock on wood, man. Hopefully, maybe, I don't know, 3rd time's a charm or something, but it's working this far. Let's hope that doesn't change because I'm enjoying the gravy train. All right, next, I just wanted to share that my Redstone Federal Credit Union sign-up bonus posted. So shout out to Cleed for putting this out, but his posted before mine because he opened his account first. Or actually, excuse me, his posted on the same date as mine, even though he opened his account earlier. So I was first thinking maybe it's exactly 91 days from when you opened the account, but no, he opened his account earlier than mine, so the dates don't line up. But I opened my account on January 10th. I met my minimum spend. I believe in the first month, I apparently have a trend of doing that, of spending a whole lot of money. And then on April 11th, mine posted. And Cleeds also posted on April 11th, so I think that they might just check on the 11th of every month. But that was a nice little bonus that posted for me. All right, next, I shared a little bit about this in the last episode, I think, about Robinhood Gold margin, where you get a free $1,000 margin. And at least I was a bit confused on how it works, but Dr. Credit actually made a post about it, and I talked about it in Dr. Credit's comments, specifically on on this post. So Dr. Credit shares that you'll be able to have a $1,000 free margin with Robinhood. And I think what I suggested last time was to park that in SGov, and that'll help you offset some of your gains. But one thing to note is specifically, and I'll read this right off here, which I took straight from Robinhood's customer service, or like a support doc, but it specifically says, you only start investing on margin after the cash in your investing account has been fully invested. This means that if you have cash in your account, you won't invest on margin until it's fully spent. For example, suppose you have $3,000 in your investment account, $2,100 in stocks, and $200 in cash. If you buy an additional $800 of Meow stock, you will use your $200 you will use your $200 in remaining cash first, and remaining $300 will be invested on margin using the securities in your account as collateral. So you need to have collateral down. So for a $1,000 margin, you need to have $2,000 in the account. And you can also set a limit to your margin. So you can go into Robinhood and set a limit. I set mine to 1,000, so I'm only allowed to take out 1,000, which is free. And I put my 2,000 in SGov, put extra 1,000 in SGov from margin, get free gains from Escov. It's better than nothing. I mean, it's a free little loan from Robinhood, so thanks. Next, I received a $10 gift card from Cloaked. I talked about Cloaked, I think, 2 episodes ago. Not exactly sure where that came from. I think someone used my referral. Well, I don't know if it's from that. I know that Don used my referral, but I'm not sure if it was from that or something else, because when I got the $10 from Cloaked, it just said, Cloaked sent you $10 through Amazon. It was like someone went into Amazon and manually sent $10 gift card. But hey, I'll take it either way. If it was Don, thanks, Don. Next, Doctor of Credit shared, and some Reddit users shared, there's a bunch of meal kit deals going on right now. I am going abroad next week, so I'm not getting into meal kits right now, but there are some pretty great ones going on. There's a $75 back on Blue Apron for top cash back. Blue Apron does give smaller portions, but I do like their food. There's also some HelloFresh ones for American Airlines miles and a couple others. I really like meal kits. I don't like the waste that they produce, but the convenience is very nice. And if you can get them for a good deal, especially if you're either getting paid for it with some shopping portals or just getting the default discount to start, definitely also check your Chase offers, your Bank of America offers, your American Express offers, your Citi offers, all the offers, because they can stack. And if you can get each meal, and I consider 2 servings 1 meal because I eat a lot. I'm a big boy. What can I say? If 1 meal, which is 2 servings, according to their numbers, is less than $5 each, that's a pretty decent deal. If you're getting down to like $3 each, that's pretty great. Like, it's hard to even beat that at grocery stores, so definitely hop on it if you see it. Next, I just want to comment on Curve's reliability, which has been very lackluster of late, to the point where I don't even want to use my Curve card anymore. Like, I have to start carrying around the card I actually want to use because Curve isn't working. So within a span of a week, from April 6th to April 14th, I used the card at a restaurant on April 6th, which was declined. I used the card on April 13th for $11 at a grocery store, which was declined. And another grocery store on the 13th, which was also declined for $25. And otherwise, I've used the card 5 times, which all worked. So that's 3 out of 8 that didn't work. Pretty terrible. The one on the 6th, I don't know. I can't know for sure because my hand was hard. My card was handed away to the server. I don't know if he did tap to pay or if he slid it or if he chipped it, but I know that the 2 grocery store purchases on the 13th that I made were tap to pay and they didn't go through. Very annoying. I'm going to keep it in my wallet, but I'm going to have to start carrying my backups. Like for groceries, I'm using Discover. I need to put Discover in my wallet. If I'm at restaurants, I'm now using American Express, so I can use that. But like my base 4.5% back on everything because of Curve looking like online shopping to Bank of America customized cash with rewards, with honors status or platinum status for the 50% boost. I'm missing out on that without it, so I hope it starts working. Next, there was a delve into a discussion on Capital One buckets on our credit cards, which was interesting, and I'll read a little bit here. Capital One is a system which, based off of the credit profile when you apply, it already knows if it will grant you a credit limit increase or limit your credit limit for a certain amount. You hardly will escape the bucket even after several years. The only way to escape the bucket is to apply for a new card with Capital One. I had a 650-ish credit score and was granted a limit of $3,000. It's been over 2 years, and my credit score is $799. I've only gotten one credit limit increase to $3,300, and they won't grant any further increases. I'm definitely bucketed. I've heard this before, and figured I'd just call it out. I kind of forget that thing happens, but just so you're aware, it does. Next, I talked last episode about some Bank of America data points. Specifically, there was a open request that I made with Bank of America for my Premium Rewards Elite card for the lifestyle credit. I made a purchase with Sportsline, which is a subscription service, and the lifestyle credit works for things, like ride shares or subscription services and Sportsline should fall into that. I called last week. They told me it should. They told me I submitted a request. I got a letter in the mail saying I need to call for an update. So I called. The representative wasn't really totally sure what was going on. But whenever I get on the phone and I talk to these people, I talk very, professionally. So I'm like, hello. I'm calling in regards to my Bank of America Premium Rewards Preferred Premium Rewards Elite or Premium Rewards Elite Preferred Rewards Premium. So professional. My Bank of America Premium Rewards Elite card. It comes with a niche benefit of $150 lifestyle credit that is valid for subscription services. I made a purchase on April 6th for Sportsline, which is a subscription service. Could you verify that the response that I got back is for the credit being credited or not? And the representative finally got the case and told me that the credit would not be posting. And I said, that's interesting. Do you know what merchant category codes fall under lifestyle credit? They said, oh, absolutely. It's this list of them. And I said, well, in my transaction for Sportsline, it lists the merchant description as direct marketing marketers, not elsewhere classified. And knowing my card's a Visa card, I went over to Visa's merchant category codes and searched for direct marketing other direct marketers, not elsewhere classified, which turns out to be merchant category code 5969. And the representative confirmed with me that 5969 is a valid merchant category code for the lifestyle credit. So they've resubmitted the request with this proof, and hopefully I hear back. I mean, I'm fighting over $29.99 at this point, but hey, it's a benefit I should be getting, and I'm submitting it because I should be getting it. So we'll see what they say. Ooh, who knew this episode was going to be almost as long as last week? The user Sensepper Point, made a spreadsheet on Reddit of transfer partners. So you can go to this spreadsheet and see which alliance in the airspace industry has transfer partners with particular banks. They include American Express, Bilt, Capital One, Chase, Citi, and Wells Fargo. The alliances include Star Alliance, SkyTeam, One World, those that are not an alliance, and hotels. There's also a spreadsheet for when do airlines release awards inventory, as well as airline miles expiration policies. So a pretty great resource. I would take a look at it. Just give a click. And this is also by the user Cents Per Point. And Cents Per Point also has a email distro that I signed up for. And if there's anything interested there, I'll point you all over that way. All right. Next, there was a lightning deal which has been expired. I talked about it last episode, though. On April 13th, Chase was giving 100% off their Target gift cards, and up to $500 in spend. I bought $500. I put it onto my Target account. I paid for it with my American Express Platinum, and that adds to my $7,000 that I spent in less than a month. Woof. Just highlighting again that SoFi and Rakuten have bonuses together totaling $500. There's a Doctor Credit link in the show notes. Next, Doctor of Credit shared about the upcoming iBond rate, which is a combination of 4.3% APY for variable and fixed. Should we buy or sell? I already sold mine, so the rate is now going to 5.27, and that includes the fixed rate of 1.3% as well as the variable rate for 4.3%. The fixed rate of 1.3% is one of the highest, I think, ever that they've ever offered, at least that I am aware of. So if you want to have an investment that will always be 1.3% over the inflation index, an iBond is a decent investment. Now, if you want to do it to lock in the 5.27%, that's not as great of an investment because right now you can get CDs for around that without this penalty of the last 3 months of interest. You could also have one that don't have this lockout. That's the same thing, Alex. You just said the same thing twice. But there are better offers out there. But for the fixed rate, that seems like a pretty decent offering. next, what are the final two things? AT&T sent me an email that there was a data breach that had some personal information in it. I had an AT&T account 3 years ago at a college I stayed at, and when I left, they didn't properly remove my name from the account, so the next tenant that lived there had my name associated with the account, and they never paid their internet bill, so they rung up charges, and then it went to collections, and it went to my name. So I spent and fought that for a while, and now it's come back to bite me again because they've leaked my information. So thanks, AT&T. I feel like what's his name? John Oliver, AT&T, something daddy. What does he call him? Something not appropriate, so I'm not going to say it. But that's it for AT&T. And then finally, Doctor of Credit. Actually, someone on Reddit just recently shared in our churning that there's a growing list of business credit cards that do not work for tax payments on Pay USA tax. And the work in progress list currently includes the Barclay American Airlines Business, Capital One Venture X Business, Chase Inc. Business Unlimited Preferred and Cash, Chase United Club Business, City American Airlines Business, and U.S. Bank Leverage Business. The site will say error processing card. Please try again or try another card. If you call in, the rep may be able to check why and verify that it's because the system classified it as a business card and consequently would not let you do a personal 1040 ES payment. Probably something about their margins, not for legal or risk reasons. So if you were trying to meet some spend with a business card by paying some of your personal taxes, Pay USA Tax apparently is not letting that fly. And that's by user JATPR. So thanks for sharing that. All right, clearly I'm a bit tired. This episode's gone long enough. I don't have anything else to talk about. One thing to note, I do have a trip to Europe coming up next week. I leave on the 23rd, and I'll be back on the 7th, so I'll be gone for 2 weeks. I don't know if I'll have an episode up before then, but I'll definitely have an episode about my travels. If there are some small, timely updates, the Patreon might get it, so take a check over there. Otherwise, thanks as always for listening, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.